All right, all right. Clap it up, clap it up. All right. Tonight it's biblical law class. Tonight is the law class. It's all about the law. You understand? And the Most High gave the children of Israel the law. You understand? He didn't give it to any other nation of people, only the children of Israel. And as the children of Israel, we have a hard time believing that these laws were only created for us. We think that the Most High, included everybody in this, but the Most High did not include everybody in this. These laws, statutes, and commandments were created for the so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, the so-called Native. You understand? With that, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. It started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Been bringing this truth to you since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is the so-called Blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and so-called Natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the devil is the oppressor that the Bible speaks of. With that, we're going to get into some of this, okay? You understand? These laws were created for us. Tonight's class, tonight's title of tonight's class is the laws were created for Israel. You understand? And the first scripture that I'm going to pull is I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. You understand? These laws were created for us. The other nations are heathen nations. The other nations are heathens. Most High does not care about the other nations. You understand? He chose us and he made us his special people. You understand? And a lot of times we have a hard time believing that, you understand, the Most High chose us. You understand? The Most High has a favorite. The children of Israel is his favorite. You understand? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives are the Most High's favorite people. He chose us. You understand? I want to read this scripture right here. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2, which reads, "For thou art an holy people." You understand? When the Most High talks about Israel, he calls them a holy people, meaning we are people set apart. We are set apart from all nations of people. You understand? And we have a hard time, again, believing that we are set apart. But if you just think about it, and we're going to go down to something just as simple as look at the other nations and look at how they follow what we do. Look at how they steal our ideas. You understand? Because we are chosen people, the Most High made us a special people. In fact, in a way that anything that we do to the fullest, and we do it better than any other nation of people. You understand? Whether it be singing, whether it be mathematics, whether it be athletics. You understand? If you notice, we are the best at everything, but we are at the bottom of everything. You understand? And we're at the bottom of everything because we have been disobedient to the Most High. Because of iniquity, instead of us running the earth, we are being run by the heathens of the earth. You understand? It says, "Thou art an holy people, a people set apart from all nations." The Most High created all the nations. Okay? The Most High created every nation. But he has his favorite. He has his chosen, which is the children of Israel, which is the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives. You understand? Just like if anything you got a 10 pair of shoes. You have your favorite pair of shoes. You own all of those shoes, but you have that one favorite pair that you like the most. That when special occasions come, you want to wear those. You know what I'm saying? Something's going on, you want to wear that, or even an outfit, even a hat. You understand? You have your favorite. Well, the Most High has his favorite. His favorite are the children of Israel. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God." Unto the Most High. We are the Most High's favorite people. We often look at what we're going through and we can't fathom that we are the Most High's favorite people because of everything that we're going through. The reason why we go through what we go through, because we're being a disobedient people to the Most High. And being a disobedient people to the Most High, that's iniquity against the Most High. And we have to pay for that iniquity. Understand something, right? When you're paying for iniquity, we don't pay as individual, we pay as a nation. You understand? So just the Most High doesn't pick out a few people and chastises it and chastises them. He takes the whole nation. We suffer as a nation of people. So now let's fast forward now and let's think, right? We suffer as a nation of people. No other nation of people suffer as the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Now, remember, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are a family, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives are a family. If they are not, think about it, right? Think about it. We are the only people on the face of this earth that truly does not know our identity. Again, we are the only people on the face of this earth, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, that don't know our identity. The names given to us are the names given to us by our oppressor. You understand? The names given to us are given to us by our oppressor. Think about that. Let that rest on your mind. Think about that, right? We are the only, listen, the Japanese, Chinese, they can give you a breakdown of their history. They can go back damn near almost 10 to 15,000 years. The Africans, they can break down their history and they can go back and go by tribe and go by their languages of each tribe, you know, wherever they are from. Even the Russians, they can go back and tell you their history. They have all of their history. Every nation of people, the East Indians, all of these people have their history. We are the only people who don't understand and know who we are and don't know anything before slavery. We don't understand our history, and it's important that we understand that we are the children of the Most High. This Bible is about us. Everything in this Bible was given to the children of Israel. It was given to no other nation of people. You understand? So let's go. And it says, and the Lord has chosen thee. Again, right? It says the Most High chose us. He chose us to be his special people. I know it's hard to believe, but it tells us that the Most High chose us. We are a chosen people. We see movies and everything talking about the chosen one, the one, this is it, and all of that type of stuff. We are the one. We are the chosen. And think about it, right? When you listen and you think about it, you say, well, how can we be the Jew? You understand? And the thing is that, it's a lot, yo. It's a lot, low price. What's going on, bro? Say that again. Yeah, I'm in the school. The door open. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah. You got them situated? Okay. I'm right here. I'm at Deuteronomy 14:2. We're only a couple of minutes in. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We just gonna leave it like this unless you want to come up.
Yeah, I'm sit right there so they can hear me when I read.
Okay, that'll work. Where was we?
Deuteronomy 14:2.
The Lord has chosen us. You understand? We are the chosen people of the Most High. You understand? My brother did not get ready to come up here. You know, help a brother out. You understand? Listen, we are chosen people. You understand? And it also says, He has chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself. Peculiar people. You understand? We are special. When people look at us, they know there's something special about us. Think about it, right? Even no matter what we do, everybody looks at us in a way like, you know, how are you so talented? How do you do the things that you do? How are we so creative in the way that we are? You understand? This is the Most High. This is what the Most High placed in us. You understand? As his special people. You understand? We are peculiar people unto himself. And then not only does it say unto himself, but it says above all nations.
Right.
You understand? He made us a special people unto himself, a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the face of the earth. Now think about that. Let that sink in. To you understand? Think about that. Let that sink in. You want you can grab me oh shoot. What is it?
14.
No, I got that. Micah 2:10.
Micah 2:10.
Yeah. You understand? He made us a special people unto himself. Title of tonight's class is The Laws Were Created for Israel. Right? Listen, he made us a special people unto himself above all nations that are on the face of the earth. Now think about that, right? Of all the nations, he chose us. And think about it, right? There is no nation that is on this earth that is better than us at anything.
Right.
Whether it be soccer, football, basketball. Now let's step away from the athletics. Even in the mathematics, think about the two young sisters that proved the theory of relativity last year. The two young girls that was in not elementary, I believe they was in junior high school. NASA scooped them up real quick. You understand? Did you hear about that? This is last year. You understand? Two sisters. Think about it, right? As soon as they see the greatness in us,
right,
they naturally come in and they like hawks because they basically we basically in a petri dish, right? They looking at us and they waiting for us to bubble over with the greatness. And once we begin to bubble over, once they see that greatness begin to come out, they come in like vultures. It's the reason why we call them what? Culture vultures.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? As soon as they see that greatness, they come in and then they scoop it up out of us. Just like I said, if it wasn't last year, with the year before, the two young sisters, and I believe they were in junior high school, backed up the theory of relativity and showed, and they broke it down of how they figured it out and everything. You understand what I'm saying? That's a brilliant mind.
Right.
The Most High placed this in us. You understand what I'm saying? He created us to be that.
Right.
You understand? And the problem is because we are so undisciplined as a nation of people. You understand? Instead of, like I was telling them earlier, instead of us running this earth, we're being run by, what do they call it? A degenerate people.
Right.
You understand? I mean, think about the things that are happening right now. World War III, believe it or not, World War III is already underway. And this is the crazy thing. I was listening to CNN today, and the commentators begin to say World War III is already underway. Now, Commander General Yohana has been saying that since since way back. You understand what I'm saying? And they really began to see the World War III and talk the World War III right after January 6th. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to understand that we are created, when we are created to be the heads of the state of this earth. We should be running this earth right now. You understand? But instead, because we are in iniquity with the Most High, this is the reason why we're the footstool of all the nations. Any nations that come to America, they automatically take a step over us. We are automatically under them. Although we are greater than them, we are better than them. You understand? Think about this. And let this thing, I want you to think about this, right? The Asians own damn near every corner store in America. And yet, they don't sell to their own people. They sell to us. The Arabs got damn near all the chicken spots in America. But they don't sell to Arabs, they sell to us. The Africans got all the bootleg spots, but they don't sell to other Africans, they sell to us. And of course, our oppressor feeds off of us every day. We talk about this every week. The East Indians own damn near all the Dunkin' Donuts, but they ain't selling Dunkin' Donuts to their own people, they selling them to us. Because we are what makes America go. We are what makes the world go round. You understand? But because we're in iniquity with the Most High, this is the reason why we're in the condition that we're in today. I want to jump to another scripture. I want to go to Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Micah chapter 2 and 10. And before I step there, I'm going to go to Micah chapter 2, verse 1. I'm going to start right there first. I'm going to jump down to 10 after I finish verse 1. Right? So grab Micah chapter 2, verse 1. I'm going to start there. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. Now, this is our oppressor. Our oppressor devises iniquity. We fall into it, but our oppressor devises iniquity and works evil upon their beds. Listen, they lay awake at night thinking of the ways that they can destroy us as a people. I mean, think about the devices that they use. You understand? Think about the devices that they use to destroy us. First, of course, they use slavery, right? Redlining, you understand? Public housing. Of course, we've all been there. Damn near all of us anyway have been in public housing. You understand? Child support. All of these vices that they use, you understand, to drive us into iniquity. Think about the prison system. The private prison system is blowing up right now. The private prison system is blowing up. And we're being destroyed by the private prison system. Not the Asians, not the East Indians. And think about this, right? The number one and number two illegal immigrants in America are the Asians and the East Indians. So why are they not kicking them out of the country? Why are they not running down and running into all these corner stores, these Chinese corner stores? You understand? What's going on, bro? What's good with you? Wow. Seeing you in a minute. It's good to see you up in here, though. You understand? Hey, tonight, the title of tonight's class is "The Laws Were Created for Israel." You got a Bible? Okay, cool. You understand? The privatized prison system is blowing up. It's nothing but blacks and Hispanics loading those prisons up. Think about alligator Alcatraz that they got now. You understand? Look at what they're doing to the brothers and sisters over there. They said 82% of the people in alligator Alcatraz are nonviolent and have no criminal background. Let that sizzle in it, right? And think about what they said they was going to do. They said they was going to be putting the most violent criminals in there, right? So if 82% of the people in there are non-violent and have no criminal background, what do you think they're trying to do? What does that mean? Somebody tell me, what do you think they're trying to do?
Right. So you said
They got in that alligator Alcatraz, they said 82% of the people in there are non-violent and have no criminal history, right? So if they non-violent, have no criminal history, what do you think they got them in there for? Man, you hit that shit right. Salah. He hit that right on the money.
right.
The brother said, modernize slavery. Listen, if they consider you an illegal immigrant, and think about this, right? If they gathered you up, think about how quickly they sent that dude to El Salvador. Remember the one they said was human trafficking and stuff like that? Come over this way a little bit. Yeah, there you go, right there. Remember the brother that they said was doing the human trafficking. They sent them back to El Salvador. You don't remember the brother that they all that controversy, and they were talking about they had to bring them back here to charge them and all of that type of stuff. And then Trump said, "Well, we can't. It's too late. You understand? There's nothing that we can do." It was a dude they sent to El Salvador, back to El Salvador. He was in that tough ass prison in El Salvador. Right? Let me make sure I'm checking in. Sister Saggy checking in. I want to say this right. Shara, Yaga. Did I say that right? Reba, Look, I got bad eyes. I got bad eyes. Spies. That little word right there.
Sharad,
Yeah. Okay, good checking in, sis. Both of y'all, Sister Saggy too. Oh, Sage. I'm sorry. They say Sage. I'm sorry, sis. Sage. I got you. I be making mistakes like that. Now I'm blind. Now I gotta get some glasses. I need glasses. All right, I'm sorry, sis. I got to Sage. All right. But they sent the dude back to El Salvador, right? And said they couldn't get him back out. Now they got him back out. But as quickly as they sent him, why couldn't all of these people that they gathered up, why couldn't they send them back? Right. Just like as quickly as they sent those other people. Because this is a system that they're creating to create modernized slavery all over again. You understand? Go ahead.
So like what you bring out is powerful because I watched the documentary. I watched the documentary on 13th Amendment. Right. You know, the whole 13th Amendment is basically you can't outright have slaves unless you incarcerate them. Right.
Check this out. Let me go. Let's really break it down too, right? What does right after the emancipation, right? Right after the what does the word emancipation mean? That's the first thing you really got to think of, right? What does emancipation mean? What does it mean to be emancipated?
Yep. Free.
Nah. Emancipated. To be the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Was Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, was supposed to so-called free the slaves, right? To be emancipated only means to be moved from private property into state property. Understand? Not only does it mean that, but remember, the only slaves that were emancipated were the slaves in the Confederate States. Never emancipated the slaves in the Union. You understand what I'm saying? And the whole thing of the emancipation was to keep the Union together. It had nothing to do with slavery.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now to be emancipated means to be taken from private property, which was the Confederates had the slaves. They were making a big profit in the South. They were making so much profit that they almost was becoming more richer than the North. Well, as they became richer, they wanted to become their own. They wanted to become their own country, break off, and have North and South America, literally, right? So instead of doing that, that's where the Civil War came in. The Civil War had nothing to do with freeing the slaves. They had no love for the slaves. Even the letter that Abraham Lincoln wrote, he said if he could save the Union and not free any slaves, he would do that. Right. If he could save the Union and free all the slaves, he would do that. If he could save the Union and free half, he would. You understand? So just like you were saying, that 13th Amendment, after they were emancipated from being private property into being property of the state, then they created the 13th Amendment. So now when they created the 13th Amendment, they created laws like if you were caught without having ID, you could be locked up. If you were caught and didn't have $1 in your pocket, you could be locked up. If they saw 3 or more of you together in a group, you could be locked up. All of these laws were created. Then you had the Jim Crow laws, which were created. You understand? To put you back into slavery. So now think about this, right? After America was all bought up, there was no land left. Now they free you, right? You have no businesses, you have no property, you have nothing. So as 100 slaves on a plantation, if you get freed, where do you go? What do you do? You push yourself back into slavery. I ain't going nowhere. I might as well stay here and work for the master. I ain't got nothing else. Now he got free labor. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Wasn't at the time sharecropping?
Sharecropping too, right? Sharecropping was when you came in and now your slave master had to pay you, right? So he said, you till this field right here. You pick this amount of cotton, or you pick this amount of corn, or you pick this amount of tobacco, and I'll pay you this. Every week you come. Next thing you know, he said, well, I had to buy seed, I had to buy fertilizer, I had to buy this. So this coming out your pay, this coming out your pay. At the end of the day, you still not making enough to go off on your own. You making enough just to survive. You understand? So now you got a family. So now you got to work even harder and even more profit coming out. And that's how sharecropping started, right? Some people got lucky off of sharecropping, and after their slave masters passed or allowed them to go off on their own, gave them a piece of property. My family got a piece of property down in St. Mary's County like that. My great-grandfather, his father was a slave and came up out of that. You understand what I'm saying? So my family was a product of the sharecropping side. You understand? The sharecropping side that it worked out. But for a lot of slaves, it didn't work out. You understand? And they got nothing out of the deal. So when you see people now and they own pieces of land, it's far and few between. You understand what I'm saying? Emancipated is being moved from private property into property of the state. You ever get locked up and they convict you, they say now you're no longer, properties, your property of the state of wherever you live at. Emancipated. That's emancipated. Children can be emancipated from their parents, right? A child can be emancipated from his parents, but once they become emancipated from their parents, they become property of the state now. Now, you get convicted as an adult, and you're a child. This is being emancipated. That's why this emancipation thing and all of these words that our oppressor use, we got to be mindful of that. Our oppressors' laws are created to destroy us. This is the reason why the Most High gave us the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? If we live by the law, statutes, and commandments, we could never fall under the oppressors' laws. But unfortunately, because of the iniquity that we've been living in, because we have been disobedient to the Most High, we have fallen under the oppressor's laws.
Right.
You understand? And now we're in the condition that we're in now, struggling day to day. You understand? This is the reason why we go out there on those corners and we speak, trying to bring our people back out of iniquity. You understand? So that we can become the rulers of this earth as it was intended. You understand what I'm saying? Where was we at? Where I said Micah 2 and 10? Let's read that again. Let's read that Micah 2 and 10. Let me make sure I get there. Let the brother get there too.
Micah 2 verse 10. Right.
Let's make sure he there before we pull out.
Get this.
I said before we pull out, we drive. Hey, no, before we get there. Yeah, I could dig it. I could dig it. Yeah, the girls going. They look quiet today. They look quiet today. I think you may have been running them around all day. You got it, bro? All right, let's roll.
Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Say that again.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Hey, listen, the scriptures say, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. And that's the problem with us, right? We've been enslaved so long that we have gotten comfortable.
Right.
We believe this is how it's supposed to be. Think about this, right? The first slave that came over here, I'm going to say the Mayflower shit, right? But the first slave that came over here understanding that they were slaves, that they were captives, that they were prisoners of war. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Then all of a sudden, those slaves have children. Those children understand that they're enslaved. You understand? Not so much prisoners of war, but we're enslaved because they were born into this. You understand? Now those slaves have children, and now all of a sudden life becomes normal.
Right.
You understand? So much so that you get 3 generations down, and yes, sir, no, sir, master. You do what the master say. You understand? It becomes normal. We get comfortable in the things that are not supposed to be comfortable to us. You understand? Read that line again.
Come. Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Hey, listen, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. We get comfortable in being destroyed as a people.
Right.
You understand? We get comfortable in living in poverty. We get comfortable in living in public housing. You understand? We get comfortable in living in ghettos.
Right.
This is not the way we are supposed to be living.
Right.
It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is not the place to be comfortable at. You understand? Go ahead.
What you bring out was real heavy because even when I was in the world, one of my favorite sayings was like, "Oh, that's life." You know what I'm saying? When we got rats, wolves, whatever terrible going on, they're like, "Yo, that's just life." Yo.
Hey, listen, that's heavy that you brought that out because that's the saying that it's been from generation to generation. I said the same thing. Man, it's life. That's just how it is. You understand? We got rats. Well, it's just how it is. That's life. All right, go ahead.
So like you said, you know, the scripture, Micah 2 and 10, when it says, "Rise ye and depart, but this is not your rest." So that means take the spirit of this country.
Leave the spirit in the country and put the Most High Spirit in you. Listen, check this out, right? Say that again, what you said. He said, the brother said to take the spirit out of the country, but it's not so much.
That's what I mean. Take the spirit out of America.
Well, it's not so much of taking the spirit out of America, but it's taking America's spirit out of you. It's nothing wrong with us being in America. We just shouldn't be of America.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's nothing wrong with us living in America. This is the place where we are. This is like you said, this is just the shit we got to deal with. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't have to be of America.
Right.
So instead of taking the spirit out of America, we're taking the American spirit out of us. You understand what I'm saying now? That's the spirit right there. But you hit it, though. You understand what I'm saying? That's basically it right there. Go ahead.
Come. Because it is polluted.
Hey, listen. Think about America now, right? Saying it's polluted. Look at all the LGBTQ.
Right.
You understand? Listen. When I was growing up, right, in the 70s and the 80s, you could go to any burger spot. There was no bacon in there. Bacon was a new thing in the 80s. 1984, I remember 1984 when they had to make DLT and they started putting bacon on the McDLT. It was a killer. McDonald's was a beast. You understand what I'm saying? So now, let's go from 84 to 2025 now. You can't find a spot that don't have bacon in it at all.
Right.
This place is polluted. The LGBTQ. This place is polluted. Look at the unaliving that we're doing to our own people. This place is polluted. We don't get that from us. We get that from the oppressor.
Right.
Just like you said before, right? We have to take the spirit of America out of us. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. We can't get comfortable in this. And the problem is that we get real comfortable in America.
Right.
You understand? Not understanding that America is destroying us at the same time. You understand? Go ahead.
It shall destroy you.
Hey, listen, look at us. Over 2 million brothers and sisters in prison right now. It's destroying us.
Right.
Look at the public housing that they tearing down, and brothers and sisters can't afford housing. Look at the brothers and sisters on the street. It's destroying us. Look at all of the black businesses that in the last 20 years that have shut down. The nail business, the sisters used to have the nail and the hair business locked down.
Right.
The Asians then took that. The Asians then took the soul food spot. You understand what I'm saying? Everything that we used to run, is gone now. You understand? So now, what's going on now? We depending on all of these other nations for everything that we need. Think about it. When did you ever think you was gonna have to go to an Asian for soul food? You out eating, you going into a Chinese spot, they got ribs, they got collard greens, macaroni, cheese. Think about this. When did you ever think you was gonna go to an Arab to get fried chicken?
It's just like,
Go ahead.
but how many times they had our people with that cookie?
Listen, I was just talking about that the other day. The Hispanics sitting in the back of all of those stores. But this is the thing, right? At the end of the day, they in our community taking our money and going back to theirs. We destroyed as a people because if you look at our communities, right, our communities are slowly crumbling, where theirs is being built up. This is us being destroyed. This is destruction at its finest. Because the thing is we don't even see that we being destroyed. We don't even see that we being pushed out of life itself. You understand? Think about this. Most of our people right now being relegated to delivery boys and taxi drivers, Uber and Lyft and Grubhub. Most people that we know, a lot of people that we know doing that now just to make ends meet. They pushing us right out. If it's not with, let's think about this, right? If it's not with electronics and the electronic world pushing us out of the industry, it's them pushing us out of our own industry. You understand? Go ahead.
Like, sir, you are so right. Because as a kid, I remember about 3 black-owned businesses that I was talking to. I remember Chicken George and Baltimore.
Right.
I remember Lake Trout.
Right. You remember that? Yeah.
There.
Hey, listen, that was the first spot that I went to that I couldn't wait. That my mother took me to, Lake Trout, right there off of Ricestown and Whitler, right?
It was right there on
Haywood and Ricestown. Right.
And there's another spot that's recently closed about some years ago. He had all over the city. It was Tyrone Chicken.
Oh yeah, I remember Tyrone Chicken. Yeah,
And
little light blue and white spot.
And it's like,
Yeah,
they destroyed everything that black folks own. It seemed like we don't get the same opportunity.
hold right there, right? Check this out, right? Go ahead, finish saying what you were saying.
No, I was like, it's like they come over here, the other, you could say the other cultures,
The other nation.
the other nations.
Right.
It seems like the white man to give them all types of grants to open up their businesses, but when it comes to black folk, it's like they make it so extra hard and ask for all these permits. It ain't easy to shut us down.
He said, the brother said that our oppressor allows all the other nations to come over here. He gives them all kinds of grants and permits. But when it comes to us, he puts us and makes us basically jump through all kinds of hoops to give us nothing.
Right.
That's the truth. Now, I got you, right? Listen to this. Psalms 83, right? I'm going to start at verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. You understand? Listen, our oppressor sits with the Chinese, with the Japanese, with the East Indians. These are all the same people that he had war with, right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones?
Us.
We are the hidden ones. Listen, these nations of people, they sit and they craft different forms of iniquity to keep us in the pits and the holes that we're in,
Right.
so that we rely on them. They have taken crafty counsel against us. This is not nothing new. The Most High has been telling us this since the beginning. You understand? This is the reason why the Most High says, never make marriages with them.
Right.
Marriage doesn't only mean, marrying man and wife, but it also means making covenants, going into business with them, because they have a crafty way of taking the whole business away from us. They have a crafty way of taking the things that we own right from under our feet. You understand what I'm saying? It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, I got you.
Go ahead. No. What
I was going to say what you ran on is powerful. I love the scripture, right? Because us blacks, Spanish, First Nation people, we really gotta realize that like we have an enemy out here. And crafty counsel is like them, like when you was bringing out that we have to do so much to keep a business. The crafty counsel was putting in place a guy like Dr. Martin Luther King.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To teach our people that no, we shouldn't be separate. We should give them everything. So now, in order for us to get a business, we gotta go to the oppressor. Back then, we can make our own business.
Right.
That's the crafty counsel. They put a person that looked like us. Because I found out that his speeches was written by a Jewish man.
Yeah.
So
and the LGBTQ.
right.
Yeah.
So the whole time we thinking they come from him speaking for black people. No, they wrote those speeches and just put his face on that. That's crafty counsel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So us as a people, we always gotta realize that like we at war all the time.
What's going on, Sister Rawah?
We at war all the time, and it's real heavy.
Hold that right there, right? And again, right? Integration is another thing that destroyed us. And this is something that we always say, right? Whenever you integrate into anything, you become that thing you integrate into. So if you integrate into America, you become American.
Right.
You begin to live that spirit of America. You begin to be that flag. You begin to sing that. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? You take on, just like you said, we got to take that spirit off of us. When we integrate into America, we take that spirit in. You understand? You like what's your favorite football team? The Ravens, right? So you everything Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Ray Lewis, all of that type, whatever, right? You are in the spirit of the Ravens. It's the Ravens or nothing. You understand? Just like me, I'm a Cowboy fan. It's the Cowboys or nothing. You understand what I'm saying? That's that spirit of America.
Right.
Once we fall into America, we get brainwashed. We get brainwashed into believing that America loves us. We get brainwashed into believing that if we join America's armed forces, that we're gonna come home to goodness and greatness.
That's right.
We're gonna come home to people loving us. But Every war that America has had, we have been in every war and we have benefited from nothing. The Asians have not been in every war. The East Indians have not been in every war. None of these other nations have been in any wars of America, but yet they come over here and they benefit. Tell me what's wrong with us. It's being in iniquity with the Most High. We've been so destroyed that we have the spirit of America on us. And that's the spirit that you was talking about that we have to get out. You understand?
I was going to say that. Listen, that the conditioning and the spirit of America has got us so conditioned, right? Growing up, my favorite movie was Glory. Right, and I couldn't watch it. Glory, yo, that was my song, right?
Everybody like that.
So, like, me and my little brother would play that all the time. And then I grew up and I went into the military.
Right.
The crazy part about it is, during that movie, we slaves trying to fight for America. And then the whole time I'm watching the movie, yo, America is great, bro. I can't wait to join the military.
Oh, stop. Dream Team.
Time.
1992. Michael Jordan, all of that. They had us so pumped up. We are great. America's number one. Listen, it's devices that they use to have you fall into the spirit of America. That's the crafty council. You understand what I'm saying? It's the spirit of Rome. When the people begin to go into an uproar, they have a gladiator fight to take the people's minds off of really what's happening, of Rome falling apart, and have the people fall back into the spirit of Rome. This is what America's doing to us right now. You understand? All of these little things that are happening around America, they're doing things and throwing things out there. Just like, think about this, every 2, 3, or 4 years, what is the one thing that they bring up? Reparations. Right? Why do they bring up reparations every 2 to 4 years? Why do they do that? To vote. It's not just to vote, but it's to make you fall back into the spirit of America. Maybe America does love us. Right. Maybe they're going to help us this time. Man, maybe we should just sit down and wait. Man, you know what? Man, put them sticks and them flags away, man. But that red, black, and green, man, forget that, man. I'm going to see what they talking about. Yo, maybe we should just listen to see what they talk about. Man, they might do it this time. Listen to the lingo of America. Right? If you listen to the lingo of America, they're only putting it on the bill to talk about it, not to make amends. You understand? It's the lingo that they use when they say, all right, in order for a bill to be passed, it has to be, what's that term they use? In order for first a bill got to be brought up, it's got to be talked about. Think about this, right? Emancipation Proclamation happened back in, what's that, 1863. The slaves were emancipated. 1863, 1963, right? You understand what I'm saying? You know, all these years, listen, every 4 years is damn near a new president, right? The same thing get brought up every 2 to 4 years, right? If 150, 160 years, they ain't done nothing, because remember, it was supposed to be an emancipation, 40 acres and a mule for every slave. Think about it. Let that sink in. That's right. You understand? But we allow America to have these Olympic Games. And the thing about it, the crazy thing is, in 2028, the Olympics going to be right here. So how high is that spirit of America going to be in 2028? It's going to be crazy, because everything going to be here. Now the spirit really going to be bubbling over. Now they really going to have your mind captured off of them robbing you. You ain't even going to think about being robbed now. Spirit is going to be heavy. This is the reason why the scripture says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. We get too comfortable when America throws toys on the floor. You ever seen a bunch of rowdy kids and you just throw toys on the floor and everybody get quiet? They doing their thing. And now everybody's satisfied. Well, this is what America does to us. America throws toys on the floor and they satisfy us. And in satisfying us, now we can go another 4 years without giving them nothing.
Right.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Listen, the scripture says what? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All of these vices, just like you said, they giving them all of these things, right? They come over here, they don't have to do anything. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Right there at 33rd and Greenmount. You know what 33rd and Greenmount is? You see that new seafood spot right there?
Right across from the gas station.
Yeah, across from the gas station, right next to the nail spot. Check this out. Me and my rib went in there maybe 3, 4 months ago, right? We went in there and we talked to the owner in there. He ain't made no money, right? But he said he's not worried about it. Why he not worried about it? He said because the nail spot next door finances that spot right there. His brother and his sister-in-law own the spot next door with the nail spot. So he ain't gotta really make no money right now because that's taking care of this spot right there. You understand? He didn't have to pay any money to get it. Just like you said, he got financed and everything. He got the best state-of-the-art stuff up in there. Think about this. He come from the right pattern here. He ain't doing nothing. But they place him right in our neighborhood because they know he gonna make a killing off of us eventually. The nail spot already jumping. The nail spot stay full. You understand? Charging $50, $60, $70 for a set. Not to mention, they ain't even counting your feet yet.
Right.
You understand? Not counting the designs and they put on your fingers and shit. You know what I mean? A single female can go in there and spend $150 easy. So imagine 30 of them sitting in there on a Saturday morning. Oh, we got that. Don't. He told us don't even worry about that. Me and my rib look at each other like bastards.
It's not the same people. A lot of those nations, do they even have to pay taxes now?
No, that's tax abatement. So they get. So listen. So he's making a killing. That's why he can sit around and say he don't have to worry about
tax.
Listen.
Every time.
Think about this though, right? He was comfortable with telling us he don't have to worry about it. You know why? Because even if we go back and tell the people in the neighborhood, they're not gonna give a damn. That's how destroyed we are. The spirit of America has crushed us in the powder. So much so that we fight with each other and not against the oppressor or not against our other enemies, the heathens. You understand? Think about this, right? It was a time where Chinese people and white people couldn't come up on Green Mountain 33rd. They would never do it. They would got robbed. That was in the 70s into the early 80s. I was hooping right down there on 25th, Green Mountain 25th at the rec center, right over there. Me and my man. You understand what I'm saying? It was never no white people wasn't coming through there. You understand? But we so destroyed as a people now. 20 years later, we so destroyed that anybody can come into our neighborhood and walk through and take anything from us. We ain't even gonna look at them. We're gonna look at our brothers or our sisters and we're gonna go off on them.
Right.
That's destruction. That's destroyed as a people.
That's
Go ahead, finish that for me. I damn near forgot where I was at. Go ahead.
Psalms 83, verse 4. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
Hey, listen, when they come into your neighborhood and they separate you and they make you love them and hate your people,
right.
That's how they separate you as a nation.
Right.
You understand? Now, we got Christian, we got Islam, we got Buddhism, we got atheism, we got Egyptology running all through our neighborhoods. Nobody is together, nobody is a nation. We talk about each other, we destroy each other, but we go right into these stores and these other nations' stores and we show all the love in the world.
Right.
Think about this, right? When you give your love to one people, you take your love away from another people. So when you begin to love the other nations, you begin to hate your own.
Right.
Listen, you got a store across the street from me, and I watch these dudes help these people unload their stuff and take it in their store. When I first got there, I was like, yo, how y'all help these, and they ain't doing nothing for y'all. You understand? But y'all be unloading and taking their stuff in the store for them and all that. Y'all don't even be helping the old ladies unload their car. Well, lo and behold, the dudes stopped doing it. You understand? I just noticed that they don't even help them no more. You understand? But that's only one step. That's a minor step.
Right.
You understand? We got to take our whole spirit out of them. The Most High gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments to build ourselves up. You understand? But we giving our pearls away to all the other nations of people. And they ain't doing nothing but trampling on them. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance.
And think about this, right? Look at the so-called Jewish man. When I was young, and I had heard somebody say that we really Jewish. We really the Jews. No, we not.
Right.
No, we not. Because why not? Because the image that I get is that goofy looking image.
Right.
There's no way I could be that. You understand? Not understanding they misrepresenting what the real Jews look like.
Right.
Not to mention they whitewash the Bible. Not to mention they represent the synagogue of Satan.
Right.
You understand? As a kid, you don't understand that though. Only thing you see is when somebody say Jew or Jewish, that's the first thing that you see in your mind. And the first thing we see, because we got so much culture, we got so much charisma, and we got so much pizzazz that can possibly be us. That ain't me. Nah, sorry, man. I'm gonna stay a Christian. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why we so destroyed, because we let them take what is ours and defile it.
Right.
They destroy it so much so that that's not what we want to be. This is the reason why, just like I said, we get out there, we speak on the street, and we give our people understanding and let them know that that's not the true image. You the true image. You the true image. I'm the true image. You understand? This is what the Jews look like. That's why they call him Jewish. He like it, but he not it.
Right.
Trying to be it, but he's not it. It's bluish, but it's not blue. It's blackish, but it ain't black. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. For they had consulted together with one consent.
Listen, they consulted together with one consent. They came together and said, listen, as much as we hate each other,
right,
we hate them more. So let's make this plan work to keep them on the bottom so that we stay on the top. Look at us. Look at us now. They making sure that we stay right where we are. So think about this, right? I could never imagine Chinese people beating up my mother or my sister and not nothing severely happening to them.
Right.
But look how many times it has happened. And we talk. And nothing happened. How many times they unalived our people and nothing happened. Think about this, right? The riots that happened, I think it was back in the 90s. They're talking about the Chinese people was on the roof shooting at black people. Protecting their what's name, but nobody wasn't trying to break in their spot. They just taking hot shots at black people. Ask me, did they get arrested? They have consulted together with one consent. They have an understanding with the oppressor. They can do what they want to do. We can't.
Right.
You understand? And once we understand that, we have to take our spirit out of them. We have to take our support out of them. Think about this, right? You got a jar of support right here. You can either give it here or give it here. We give our jar of support to the Asians. Well, if you take that jar of support from the Asians, now you got a jar of support to give to somebody. Who do you give it to? Give it to your people. Right. Think about this, right? When Kamala Harris was on her little journey trying to run for president, those sisters raised $1.5 million in a week. A week. Imagine them raising $1.5 million for the communities, for Black communities. Right. Imagine what $1.5 million could have did for a Black community. Imagine the businesses that you could have opened for $1.5 million. Imagine the communities you could have cleaned up for that. And yet, they did it for an East Indian. An East Indian that didn't even bow out and say thank you to them who did what they did for them. Right. See, that's the spirit of America. That's what the spirit of America does to us. Makes us love these other nations and forget about our own. Go ahead.
Together with one consent, they are confederate against thee.
Think about that right there, right? The scriptures say they are confederate against thee. What does that mean? They are confederate against thee. Go ahead.
And basically joined together and they came together and agreed on something.
Kind of like that. That's almost right.
Something like that. They joined together to go against us, something like that.
Okay.
Oh, they signed a treaty.
No. All right. Think about this, right?
War. Somebody passed war against me.
Right. Close. Listen, you close. In Confederate, right? To be Confederate means to do something illegal or illicit against a person or people. When we create laws so that you can't open a business, but the Asians can come in and do it, that's being Confederate against you. They set traps for us to be Confederate against someone. When it says, they are Confederate against thee, that means they have come together to do something illegal or illicit against us. You understand? To have a monopoly in our neighborhoods is illegal and illicit. To have a monopoly where we can't open businesses in our own neighborhoods and sustain them, right, is illegal and illicit. Think about how many Arab stores have you been into where you see bugs and flies and everything else stink when you go in there and everything, right? Boxes to the ceiling, it looks filthy and dirty in there, right? State doesn't come in, shut them down and nothing, right? But you can have a Black man with a store clean as everything, right? But they'll come in and find something to shut you down. That's being Confederate against us. These are the things that they do to us. Redlining, like we said earlier, when you redline a people and stop them from moving in a particular parts of the state or the city and have them move into the raggedy areas, that's illegal and illicit. That's being Confederate against us. We see Confederate every day. Right. That's right. You understand? When you can't get certain jobs, and you like, yo, I know I was qualified for that job. I wonder why I didn't get it. You understand? I wonder why I didn't get that promotion. I wonder why it didn't pop for me. I had everything going on. You understand? This is America being Confederate against us. This is the other nations being Confederate against us. This is the things that they do to us. You understand? Thanks to Martin Luther King, like the Nas said earlier, you understand? Having us love these other nations, being hand in hand. Little Black boys and little white girls holding hands and all that bull crap. You understand? And we fall for it. You understand? Oh no, we all the same people. We all. You ever heard that dumbass saying we all bleed the same blood? Just because we bleed blood don't make us the same people and don't make us equal. Right. We truly believe, a lot of us truly believe we have the same opportunities. You ever heard people say, man, we got the same opportunity. We just don't know what we doing. You understand? Them Chinese people, they come over here, they save up their little bit of money, and they come over here and they open business and they successful. No, they don't. They are confederate against us.
All right.
The Arabs are confederate against us. The Africans are confederate against us. The East Indians are confederate against us. Why do you think they don't help us out? But as soon as something happens, we all marching with them and walking with them and doing, oh, y'all, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. All that bullshit. You know what I mean? That's being confederate. That's what it means to be confederate. So when you hear that term confederate, it just means to be illegal, to do something illegal or illicit against a people or person.
Right.
That's what that means. You understand? Get that last one for me.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
Listen, that's our oppressor right there. Tabernacles of Edom. You understand? He's the mainstay. It's his house. It's his tabernacle. It's his country that we in. It's his world that he's ruling. You understand? Go ahead.
When we say Edom, it's talking about like German, Sweden, like every last white culture, even the
Spaniards, all of them are European. Yes.
Like
Germany, yes. Right. Even though if you go down a little further, it breaks some of it down. Like Gabal, if I'm not mistaken, Gabal is like the Russians or Germans, something like that. Don't get me on that. Don't take me on that. But I believe it's something like that. But for the most part, the Edomites are the Europeans. Yeah. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, of course, the Ishmaelite is the ones in our corner store selling us the chicken, the Arabs. That's the Ishmaelites. Go ahead.
And the Hagarenes.
Hagarenes, those are the Africans, but Moab come before them. Moabites, that's the Chinese. You understand?
Moab is Chinese.
Moab is Chinese. You understand? The Hagarenes are the Africans. You understand? And then you got a whole lot of like the ball Ammon is the Japanese, Amalek is the so-called Jewish man, the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. The Philistines and the Tyre, I can't say the name right, but those are Africans too. It's a whole bunch of African nations. You understand? So we're gonna drop that right there, right? What was the scripture we was at before? We was at Micah 2:10.
Go back.
Yeah.
Say something.
Go ahead. What you
So
got?
it was powerful. I love Psalms 83 because they put in perspective. It breaks down every nation
Right.
is all confederate against you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black Hispanics need to really understand that. Every single nation, they break down the nations that got together. They can fight wars and be mad about territory all day, every day on the news and stuff like that. But the only time that they got together and was like, yo, we're going to make something happen. That's when it came to Black Hispanics, First Nation people.
Yeah, we're gonna start that at the top again once you get that situated. And like I said today, the title of today's class. You good? Okay. Okay. All right. Like I said, the title of the night's class is The Laws Were Created for Israel. You understand? These laws were created for us. All we got to do is follow these laws and we'll be okay. Right. You understand? It's not hard to show a little brotherhood. You understand? It's not hard to show you. Think about it. We do it with the other nations all the time. Especially when you got to go for an interview. You're the nicest nigga in the world. You feel me? And then we come home and be cursing our brothers and sisters out. You understand? We got to reverse those roles. And I'm not saying go out there and curse the other nations out, but we got to take that love and we got to show that love to our people. Right? Because that's the thing that we missing. We missing the love, giving the love to our own people. Go ahead. We're going to hit that at the top.
Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye, and depart, for this is not your rest.
Like I said, we get too comfortable in America. You know what I mean? We got to stop being comfortable. We can't rest here. We can't rest in our laurels. We can't figure like this is just the way it's supposed to be. It's better than this. You understand? We living in hell right now, and we got to make this hell into a heaven.
Right.
Go ahead.
Sly, you ever ran into a person, you know, when you
like that watch?
You ever when you in America standards for black people, when they so-called make it, and then you get people in your corner like, you know what, you can't go back and help them.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying, you gotta continue to make it better for you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why those are the people who tell us that we at our rest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want us to go back and help our people.
Well, think about this, right? Think about this. In the NFL, they got a rookie symposium. And in the rookie symposium, they tell young rookies coming in that they shouldn't go back because now that they got a lot of money, it's a danger if they go back to their old neighborhood and start helping their old neighborhood. So every time you see them helping our communities, why do we always see them helping our white community? You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't want you to give that money to your people. They want you to give that money to their people. Right. Make us rich. Forget about your people. And what do we say? You know what? I think you're right.
Right.
So then every once in a while, when a nigga career almost over, what do? He come back and fix up a basketball court. He fix up a football field for the minute. You understand what I'm saying? But he done built houses out there for them. He done came in and did construction for them. You understand? He done put up whole community centers for them. You understand what I'm saying? And he done nothing. And this is the reason why a lot of our brothers and sisters have animosity against, you understand, athletes and entertainers and things like that, because they have been lied to. You understand? And they have been lied to. And then our oppressor creates situations where a brother may come home and try to do something for his people, and he may get hurt or even unalive. So now the next people looking down the road, and they looking down the line and saying, you know what? I think that white man might be right. I'm not going back down there. I'm going back the other way. And that's why you see our people always helping our oppressor. Think about this, right? I listened to I can't remember the athlete name, but they said I give to something like United Way, or I donate money to, you understand what I'm saying? Understanding that any money donated to any kind of what they call it, charity, it never goes to the black community at all. So when you donate money to the oppressor. You understand? Think about this, right? How many ghettos you see the oppressor living in? Listen to what I'm saying, right? How many white ghettos do you know? Ain't such thing as a white ghetto. Now you have some white people who choose to live in ghetto with Negroes, right? You have white areas where you have country white people who choose to live like they live. They choose that lifestyle. But we are forced into poverty.
Right.
We are forced into ghettos. We don't choose those things. So much so that we believe the ghetto life is the life for us. You understand what I'm saying? Have you ever seen a Chinese ghetto? Have you ever seen an East Indian ghetto? Have you ever seen an Ethiopian or African ghetto? Because in America, everybody's living off of us. Listen, they said the number one and number two illegal immigrants in America is the East Indian and the Asian. Number one and number two. But where do they live at? Because we don't see them. But we do see the Hispanics, because they living right with us. Because I almost got them. But they living right with us, because these people understand that these are the same people. We the only people that don't understand that the Hispanics and natives are the same people as us.
Right.
You start looking back at some of those old photos from the 1800s, the early 1800s, the mid 1800s, right after the emancipation. You see all them black Indians. You see all them black Hispanics. There's a whole bunch of them, but they in the deep parts of the jungle. And I don't mean to say jungle, but the deep parts of South and Central America. You understand? They keep a lot of them hidden. You understand? But those are our people. You understand? This is the reason why we're going through the same thing. This is listen, being in captivity is nothing new to us.
Right.
You understand? What's that? The Babylonian captivity, Assyrian captivity, the Roman captivity, yeah, even the American captivity. And there was some captivities in between that. You understand what I'm saying? We getting too comfortable.
Right.
We getting way too comfortable. Look at us. Again, that's the reason why you up in this class right now. It's the reason why we do what we do on Saturdays. It's the reason why we have these classes. You understand? To get our people some understanding. This is not the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
We're supposed to be in heaven right now.
Right.
We're supposed to be living it up. We're supposed to be having somebody outside right now washing our car, even if it's dark outside.
Yeah.
I need my wash right now. Go get that Edomite. The one sitting on the trash can over there. Get them wash our cars up. You understand? And give them a donut or something. You understand? That's how it's supposed to be. But yet, that's what they're doing to us. See our brothers out there squeegeeing windows. See old dudes out there doing it now. You understand what I'm saying? That's hell. It pissed me off so bad because I seen the oppressor tell a young dude go ahead and do his window and then didn't paint. And then they laughed. You remember, was it last year or the year before when the young dude busted window out? That's why he busted out. They try to make it seem like we violent, but do you see what happens to us?
Right.
At times we get emotional. You understand what I'm saying? Because we know what the struggle is. And then we have somebody take advantage of us. They are confederate against us. This is all the plan. You understand what I'm saying? Did you see the oppressor that jumped out on the kids with the gun? Maybe about 2 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Didn't he get unalived?
Yeah.
Young boy unalived him, right? He got what he deserved. I'm not saying that it's right. You understand what I'm saying? But at some point in time, brothers can't take it.
Right.
This is where the discipline comes in. This is where the law, statutes, and commandments come in. This is where the understanding comes in. This is the wisdom and the knowledge right here. So that we don't unalive an oppressor. We don't unalive a heathen. But we should have them as our footstool. We should be kicked up and we should be telling them, yeah, go ahead and wash my windows. Roll the window down and give them $1. They should be the ones having a hard time. You understand what I'm saying? It shouldn't be us. It shouldn't be us. You feel me? Go ahead.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction.
It says it is polluted and it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. What does that mean with a sword destruction? Sword destruction.
Right.
Go ahead.
So let me break it down. This how destruction, you're gonna be destroyed.
Right.
But it's like when you get a cut in the sword, it lasts longer. It stay for a long period of time because it's a sword destruction. So your destruction will be for a period of time.
A sword destruction is like you lose your home, right? You lose your job. You lose your car. You lose your wife. And all of a sudden, you lose your humanity. You understand? Your manhood is gone.
Right.
That's the story. So when it goes down to the bone, we can lose a car, right? We make a way. You can lose a job, you know you can get another one. But when your manhood is gone, You understand? When your very dignity, all the way down to the soul, that's a soul of destruction. You understand? When you see brothers unaliving themselves, that's a soul of destruction. When you get to the point where you say like, oh, it ain't no way out.
Right.
You understand? That's soul of destruction. That's what we living in right now.
Right.
Like, yo, when is this shit gonna stop? Yo, when is this gonna end? You understand? Sometimes I wake up sometimes like, hey, yo, when I see certain things happening, I'm like, yo, is this real? Is this, yo, this, like the time when, remember when the Haitians was coming across and the sheriff had the lasso on the horse and was trying to lasso the Haitian? That shit brought back slavery time to me. Remember that? And I was saying like, yo, is this shit real? Yo, was he? And then this was the crazy part right here, right? Because he allowed the woman and the children to go across, but they wouldn't allow the men. Which means they're gonna get them on the other side. They're gonna destroy the man, the woman, and the child.
Right.
And not gonna allow the man to protect. Think about this: when you so down that you can't even protect your family.
Right.
That's a sword of destruction. When the very essence of you would do anything. Yo, you can lose a job, you can lose your house, you can lose your car, but when you can't protect your family, that's a sword of destruction. You feel me? That's a sword of destruction, and that's that thing that the Most High says, arise ye and depart. You can't get comfortable in this, because eventually this is gonna take your very essence. It's gonna take your very soul. You know what I mean? That's what we're living in right now. That's what we're living in right now. And right here in the UPK, under Commanding General Yohana, this is where we get that rest. This is where we get that understanding. You understand? This is where we get that knowledge of how to build ourselves back up. Building a house by house, neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block, community by community. Listen, this shit not gonna happen overnight, but it has to happen. And the only way it's gonna happen is if it starts somewhere.
Right.
It's gotta start right here. Because of course, Christianity not gonna do it.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? Islam has not done it. You understand? Buddhism definitely not gonna do it. Atheism and Egyptology, it's a wrap for that. Them shits can't help it.
Right.
It's already proven. You understand what I'm saying? Think about this, right? You ever heard of what's the thing that everybody was in back in the early 80s? Well, no. What's the other thing with Dr. York?
Oh,
What that is? I know the name of it. I just can't get it. What's the name? You know what I'm talking about, Dr. York? What that thing? What was that thing they was called that they was in? They used to always talk about the Anunnaki and all that bull crap. Yeah, it's not quite Egyptology, but it's the name of that. Damn. Somebody tell me what that name of that stuff Dr. York was teaching.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh man. All right, but anyway, they said they used to. It was a sound Nuwapian. That's it right there, Nuwapian. Nuwapian.
With a B.
Yeah, Nuwapian. All right. I remember listening to them, and they used to say, "Yeah, we got 37 trillion years of information. Fuck out that much information." Right? So not only that, this is what they said to me, right? I mean, not to me, but I was listening to them online. And they said, every 11 years, we update our information. Think about this, right? Every 11 years, you update your information, right? That means if you got to update your information, that means something wrong with your information from the jump.
Right.
Right? If you got to update anything, that means something wasn't right from it from the jump. Because you got to change it, right? Exactly. So with these laws, statutes, and commandments, these laws, statutes, and commandments have never changed.
Right.
Why have they never changed? Because it's the truth.
Right.
Truth stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to change truth because times change. The truth doesn't.
Right.
1 + 1 = 2. That shit will never change.
Right.
But if you got to change your information every 11 years, that means something is definitely wrong with your information. If your information can't withstand the test of time, that means something got to be wrong with your information. You understand what I'm saying? And this is how you know if you in the truth or not. This is how you know if you following what's right and what's or not.
Right.
Hey, listen. With that, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 124th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing these troops since 1969, and that troop is the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and the so-called Native are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the devil is the Bible.
That's right.
The oppressor is the devil. Bible.
That's right.
With that, I'm gonna pass the class over to the priest and officer Canaan.
Bro, these are the security announcements. Good. ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They adhere to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to marry a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tip in Hebrew is pronounced mayashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, which is a free will offering. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, I believe the next up and coming holy convocation is for September the 22nd. No, don't. To be on the lookout for the next up and coming holy convocation, I believe is in September the 22nd. Remind Akim and Abwakiam to check in on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he has to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Amayim, who stand. Amayim Shabbat, Amayim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
How about Shimmy Al Shabbat the song?
That's the top. Class dismissed.